A tiny house can be a wonderful combination of simplicity and luxury. And here in Australia's magical Queensland rainforest, we've found a tiny house that's the epitome of both. Hi Jess, it's lovely to meet you.
Hi Bryce, lovely to meet you too.
And what a gorgeous home you have here, all beautifully tucked into this lovely woods as well.
Thank you. That's for sure. Most people can't even find the driveway. So good on you for finding it today.
It was a bit of an adventure for sure, but this place just looks absolutely beautiful. This black exterior just so nicely blends into the forest surrounds, doesn't it?
Exactly. One of the reasons why I did end up by choosing the monument colour was to integrate into the surrounds. So it wasn't so obvious when bypassers were passing by, and yeah, I could really just lose myself in my tiny in the wilderness.
We're very tucked into the forest here, and I'm surprised to see you've got the solar panels out. Are they actually doing anything here? Because I would have thought they were too shaded by the trees.
On days like today, not exactly. No, I do get a little dappled light. The last couple of days I've had some really good sun, so I've had everything running. Fingers crossed it's still running. But yeah, no, everything running for the last couple of days. But yeah, for the last few months I've been chainsawing some trees, chopping them down and slowly making some progress on getting some more sunlight on my solar panels.
Fantastic. So you're chopping down some trees. What's the story with the land here?
I did an ad through Facebook and was just like looking for a little plot of land, because I've moved up from Victoria too. So I didn't know anyone up here. I moved for work, and the family that owns this property reached out and said, hey, we've got land. They got me out here and we did a walk through, and I fell in love. As soon as I came off the highway and drove out this neck of the woods, I felt at home. And just as part of the deal, I have to maintain my area, so it's pretty good.
It sounds fantastic. And the house is just gorgeous. Beautiful, clean, modern design.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I'd actually spent about 3 months trying to design it myself. I wanted to get in as many windows as I possibly could. So there's a lot of natural sunlight in that space. But yeah, no, that's my baby.
It is beautiful. And what size is the tiny house?
I've got an 8.4 metre trailer with a 1.8 drawbar, and then overall it's 4.3 metres tall. After being in it for as long as I have, I probably could have gone smaller. I felt like I had so much space and so much storage, which is one thing that a lot of people seem to suffer with. But yeah, no, very comfortable with regards to size.
And you've gone for an all metal exterior?
Yes, I decided to not include any kind of timber feature just because of maintenance and the upkeep. As much as I love the natural discoloration of raw materials, I was just a little scared as to where I was going to be parking, because during production I still didn't know where I was going to park the tiny house, and so I wanted to keep the exterior as bare and basic as possible, and then you can decorate it and the exterior as with pots and plants and all kinds of other cool, beautiful things.
You've got this very cool pallet deck as well. I love how you've done this.
Oh no, it's temporary for sure. It was just to get me up and into the tiny house. The logs I had chopped down from the trees that I've been chopping down, and weirdly enough, this pallet here was actually the most stable one out of all the others that are there.
I love it. It's rustic, but it's cool.
It's rustic, but yeah, you just stand on a certain point and you'll feel like you're surfing. So.
Okay, I'll go easy on it then.
Yeah.
I'll go easy on it.
No jumping.
And I'm guessing you're collecting rainwater here as well?
Yes. No, I've got a 5,000 litre water tank out the back. I think within the first few weekends of parking it here, we had huge downpour, so I was able to fill that tank in no time. And I haven't even taken off like an inch since moving in.
And it's cool how you've got the panels on their own trailer as well.
Yes, that was due to just not knowing where I was going to be parking the tiny house. And you might notice that I've got a few skylights on the roof, which kind of limit how many solar panels I can have on the roof of my tiny house. But yes, no, it was just more so I could relocate the solar trailer whenever whenever I needed to, and just have it more accessible in summer versus winter solstice.
Great. It looks like you've got a good sized solar system too.
Don't quiz me on the exact specifications of it all, but there are about 3 batteries in there, the inverters in the solar box. The batteries are about 440 watts each. It's huge.
And you've got a backup generator as well?
Yes, no, it's an automated start. So when my batteries do run out of charge, the generator will automatically turn on and charge my tiny.
Perfect, especially when you choose to put a solar array in the middle of a forest.
Yes.
Well, the house is absolutely stunning, beautifully blended into this gorgeous forest, and I cannot wait to see what you've done inside. Can we take a look?
Yes.
All right, after you. This is absolutely magic. Especially having all of these windows, you just stay so connected to the beautiful landscape outside.
That's for sure. That was part of the idea with having so many windows, and then the size of them as well was just to be as much inside as I was outside.
And the skylight above the living area, wow.
It did mean I didn't have any direct light in the living area when it came to nighttime, but that's the reason for the fairy lights. But yes, no, looking up at that skylight at nighttime at all the stars is pretty magical.
Absolutely, and not having so much light inside the house makes it a little bit more magical, and again, lets you see the stars and take full advantage of having the skylight there.
Exactly.
And I really like what you've done on the wall here with all of the art. Is this your artwork?
No! It's a colouring book. I've had it for the last 8 years, and I pulled it apart just a few months back to make a feature out of it on the wall because I was so indecisive about a piece of art that I really wanted to make, but I'm just like, I don't know what I want to make, the colours I want to use. So I was just like, well, the colouring book, it's going to stay either on the bookshelf or on the wall.
Might as well have it on display.
Exactly. And
I really like it.
Yeah, when I'm really bored, I'll just take off one of the pictures and continue colouring in.
And this is a very comfortable looking couch you've got here.
It is a couch that folds out into a bed. So because I am interstate, a lot of friends and family that come up and visit, they've at least got somewhere to sleep.
Very important.
But yes, no, very comfortable, super deep.
Nice. And I really like what you've done in here with all of the plants, especially pairing it with the fairy lights. It does give it a very enchanted feel.
Yeah, I mean, it's a work in progress. My feature nib wall up there is, I wanted it to be wrapped up in vines, but yes, no, I didn't exactly know when to stop when it came to collecting plants.
One of those things you can never have too much of, I think.
No, I don't think so.
Lovely kitchen design you've got here as well.
Yes, very simple pared back, but it caters to all one's needs.
That's the important thing. Nice big sink though, that's always good to see.
I do have a plate that goes over the top of it, so it doubles as a drying rack, but allows me to do all kinds of washing up in there. So additional laundry items and cleaning items, and yeah. There's also a storage space.
Very
I
important.
can cover it when I don't feel like doing my dishes.
Hide those dishes, nice. You've got a good size oven here too?
Yes, no, that's a gas oven. That was just purely for the purposes of cooking for longer durations of time and not having to rely on solar.
Very smart.
But it also turns off once it reaches its temperature. So there isn't constant gas flow into the oven. So it's a pretty smart oven.
It certainly sounds it. And what's the material on the bench top here?
It's a compact laminate material, so it looks and feels very similar to natural stones without the cost or the weight.
What a good idea. It looks very, very nice. And for the size of the kitchen, you have a lot of storage in here.
Ample amount of storage. I've actually got several cupboards or shelves that are not exactly full.
Nice.
And at the end of the kitchen, I've got a full height pull-out pantry, and opposite the pull-out pantry is my wardrobe. I love the simplicity of tiny houses and just how much you could fit within a small space, how clever you could be within such a space like your kitchen and storage for wardrobes and things like that. Items could be multifunctional. We don't need so much in order to live comfortably.
And it's nice to see you found a spot for the books up there as well.
Yeah. And dust.
Books and dust.
Books and dust, that's what that nice shelf is. I did go for a bigger kitchen window, which did mean, and I didn't figure this out until moving in, that it's not exactly as reachable and accessible as I first thought. So the bar stools have come in handy.
The bar stools and the kitchen bench, no doubt.
Yes.
Yeah, fair enough too.
Stabilisation.
I love the retro fridge.
I have this funny thing with the colour orange, and I really wanted one of those Smeg fridges.
Oh yeah.
Turns out they're not as energy efficient as I thought. Because that space was to cater to a fridge that was going to be on display. I wanted to have a little point of difference.
Yeah, those Smeg ones are cool, but they cost a fortune as well.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, a bit ridiculous.
Exactly.
And the wooden slab here is such a cool feature.
Yes, no, the timber slab was actually gifted to me from work, and then I tried to attach some legs with wheels on it because I wanted it to be multifunctional and actually move into this space to create an L-shaped kitchen. And then when I finally sort out my deck, it'll be wheeled outside for an external breakfast bar.
That is a great idea. And you did get a bit of orange in here then with your chairs as well?
Yes, my little splashes of orange, my little Jess.
Those little touches can make all the difference,
Exactly.
eh? And down the end there we have your bathroom.
Yes.
Cool, can we have a look?
No worries.
Alrighty. Oh wow, this is a surprisingly big bathroom you've got in here. This shower is huge.
Yep, no, dual shower heads and a 1200 by 900 shower base, so it's a pretty big shower.
A definite touch of luxury. You've got the rainfall shower head there too, that's very nice.
Very nice for washing hair.
It certainly is.
And the handheld component's so good for just cleaning down the shower as well.
Nice vanity here.
Yes, good size vanity, I reckon. I wasn't too sure as to the proportions when first figuring out the size of everything, but no, I'm very, very happy with all the storage that I've gained with the vanity itself. I decided to hang it on the wall so it gives me the illusion of space.
Absolutely, bit of negative detail there, always a nice technique. Composting toilet as well, the split systems, those are so good for tiny houses. I don't know why we don't see these more.
I don't know either. I've been in here for about 6 months and I've only just had to change over my chambers, so it's lasted me a pretty long time.
That is excellent. And it looks like you've got some very clever storage built into the back wall there too. Can you tell me about that?
Yes. I've actually got a lot of camping gear, and so I needed to make sure I had space for all the camping gear without storing it outside, and who knows what kind of animals were going to attack it. But yes, no, inside here I've got camping supplies, so I can take off at any point.
Excellent. Very nice to have. And this is of course all built into your stairs.
Yes, the idea was to conceal all the storage and make the entrance up to my loft a little bit more secret.
That is so clever, because I've never seen this done before, but it does add this really nice layer of privacy and sort of hidden access to the loft. I think that is a really clever idea. And can we have a look up in your loft?
Yes, let's go.
Let's go. Oh, this is absolutely lovely. Again, having that incredible skylight there is just such a nice touch.
Yes, no, it certainly makes a huge difference in this space. Sitting up in there just allows you to have a little bit more breathing room too.
Yeah, and it's so hard to feel enclosed in a loft when you have this wonderful expansive view of the sky.
Exactly. No, those stars at night, the shooting stars and the falling stars, oof, they're pretty epic.
Yeah, and I really love what you've done up here with the banister.
I love it. It actually was restored off an old Queensland. It was a feature in a pergola, and I found it and thought, this will be a great new wall, why not? Something a little different too. And then the fairy lights around it too at night is pretty special.
And one of the things that I really like about the sleeping loft is it is quite private, but it's also really, really open to the outdoors, and you get all of the top level windows that give you this wonderful panoramic view out into the forest. It's a little bit like being in a treehouse, isn't it?
Exactly. I feel like a big kid in a cubby house. Those trees, when the sun hits them in the morning, it is something very, very special. Very lucky to be out here where I am.
You certainly are. And so how long have you been living in the tiny house now?
Oh, it'll only be about 6 months now, so it's still very early days. But yes, no, I intend to be nowhere else.
And how are you adjusting to tiny house life?
I love it. I am still a very big fan of camping, so this is just like glamping, and yeah, no, I wouldn't change it for the world. I've learned a substantial amount about myself since deciding to go tiny, to then building the tiny house, and then creating a home here as well. I honestly didn't think I could do half of the things that I have achieved, and I'm just so proud of myself for doing it. Words can't describe what this space means to me. I couldn't stop pinching myself when I first moved in. I really still can't stop pinching myself. Waking up on the weekends and seeing where I live and what I'm surrounded by is truly magical.
And can we talk about the cost that was involved in building this home?
Yeah, the tiny itself was about $130,000. The solar trailer, due to the size, the amount of panels, the amount of batteries too, was about $20,000.
A great result. This is such a beautiful home. And so now you're moved in, what does the future hold for you now?
That's a very good question, Bryce. No, I'm still settling into my surrounds. I want to still do some more clearing so my solar panels can actually get a little bit more sunshine.
Good idea.
And then just getting into the garden and doing it up.
That sounds like a great plan. Jess, you have created such an enchanting home for yourself here. It really is a little bit of a forest paradise. Thank you so much for sharing it with me.
Thank you, Bryce, and thanks for coming out and checking out my tiny.
Absolutely my pleasure. Stepping into this tiny house, you know you're somewhere special. What Jess has created here is nothing short of, well, just like she described it, magical. This is such a beautiful and comfortable home, and the way that it is so incredibly connected to the beautiful outdoors really just makes this an incredible place to be.